Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that is absolutely crucial, yet honestly kinda elusive for a lot of us: finding true purpose in our work. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned founder, or really just someone looking to realign your career with your actual personal values, this Explainer is going to give us a highly practical roadmap to discovering that ultimate why.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever felt just totally disconnected from what you do every single day? Look, we all know that feeling, right? The psychological toll of burnout, that quiet dread of the daily grind, the sense that you're just, going through the motions. It's incredibly common, especially when we let the sheer momentum of life dictate our direction instead of intentionally steering the ship ourselves.
But here's the thing: that feeling is actually a universal catalyst for change. Take the story of entrepreneur Lavinia Goddard, for example. She had this super safe, secure, completely comfortable job as a product developer in the fashion industry for 10 years. But she ultimately quit. Why? Well, as she put it, she felt trapped. Like there was something missing, something more for her to do. That nagging feeling, it isn't just restlessness. It's a deep psychological desire for a higher calling. To get there, here is the exact step-by-step roadmap we'll use in today's Explainer. First, the search for meaning. Second, meaning versus purpose. Third, profit and the mission. Fourth, designing your purpose. And finally, aligning values with action. So let's kick things off with Section 1, the search for meaning, moving beyond the carrot and stick. For decades, the workplace has really leaned on that traditional carrot and stick approach, extrinsic rewards like cash bonuses or the threat of being demoted. But research shows this is fundamentally flawed. People actually possess a will to go way beyond their baseline abilities if the right drives are activated. The three key drives of human motivation are autonomy, which is that deep desire to direct our own lives; mastery, the urge to improve our skills; and purpose, the drive to pursue something greater than ourselves. Interestingly, research indicates that entrepreneurs often achieve much higher levels of meaningfulness specifically because they have the autonomy to self-direct their mastery and build their own environment. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. Moving right along to Section 2, meaning versus purpose, defining the concepts. And this brilliantly illustrates two philosophical concepts that people constantly confuse in business. Meaning, which stems from the ancient Greek word logos, is your clear intention or reason for life. It acts as kind of an adaptable standard. Purpose, on the other hand, relates to telos, your final cause, your ultimate objective or aim. It is the finite goal you are striving to accomplish. Simply put, meaning is where you are coming from, while purpose is the clear direction where you are going. You literally cannot find a long-term purpose without first understanding your underlying meaning. But how do you actually bridge the gap between where you're coming from and where you're going? The answer is passion. As famous entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs have pointed out, passion is absolutely required to persevere. Entrepreneurship and career building, they are filled with immense stress, self-doubt, and absolutely inevitable obstacles. It is that core passion that keeps you pressing forward against those challenges to make your vision a reality.
Which brings us to Section 3, profit and the mission, the business case.
There is this deeply ingrained, honestly toxic narrative out there that if you're doing good in the world, you really shouldn't profit from it. Take Paloma Concordia, who founded a PR agency centered on social justice and marginalized communities. She actually wrestled with deep questions about whether she even deserved financial success, kind of equating profit with greed. She had to work with a prosperity coach just to untangle these beliefs. Her massive breakthrough was realizing a very simple truth: sustainable impact requires sustainable income. You literally cannot help others if you're scrambling to survive yourself. Profit and purpose aren't enemies, guys. They are partners. And guess what? The market entirely agrees. Over 70% of millennials and Gen Z consumers are willing to pay a premium for sustainable, ethical products. That is a huge chunk of the market. The modern market actively demands purpose. When you have a strong social mission, you actually gain a real competitive advantage. We're talking better employee retention, higher customer loyalty, and a much stronger brand reputation. So, how do you actually structure this? Well, there are proven models to make purpose profitable. One is cross-subsidization. This is where you use the profits from premium products sold to affluent markets to subsidize mission-critical work in underserved communities. Pretty brilliant, right? Another is integrated impacts, where the mission isn't just some side project. It is the core product itself, like building high-end accessibility software.
Let's jump into the really practical stuff with Section 4, Designing Your Purpose, the Frameworks.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the purpose compass. Notice how your true north sits right at the intersection of 3 circles. First, your interests. That's the engaging work that gets you into a flow state. Second, your strengths and skills, the stuff you're just naturally good at. And third, impact, work that actually helps other people. When you can align what you love, what you excel at, and what the world needs, supported by the right culture and personal fit, boom, you have found that sweet spot for your life's work.
Now, to figure out where you currently stand, another really great tool is the Wheel of Life. This framework helps you evaluate critical categories, things like health, environment, finance, social connections, and work. By plotting your current satisfaction in each of these areas, you can visually spot any imbalances. It highlights exactly what parts of your life and career need immediate focus and realignment before you can effectively pursue your greater purpose. And that leads us to our final section, Section 5, Aligning Values with Action, a step-by-step guide. Even the most experienced leaders drift sometimes. Entrepreneur Alison Loftus ran a wildly successful preschool business for 20 years, and it was entirely built on her core personal values. Yet, when someone asked her about them recently, she had this massive eye-opening moment. She realized that through the chaos of daily operations, high turnover, and post-pandemic fears, she'd completely lost sight of what mattered most. She was operating from a place of fear, not purpose. So she developed a system to fix it.
So, the crucial point is, how do you actually execute that realignment? Let's walk through her exact 5-step exercise. Step 1. Identify your true North Star by listing your top 5 personal values, things like community or excellence. Step 2. Define them personally. Seriously, don't just use a dictionary. Define what they actually mean to you. Step 3. Map those values to specific business actions. Ask yourself, what does community look like in your daily operations? Step 4. Spot the gaps. You've got to be brutally honest here about where your current business practices have drifted away from those values. And finally, Step 5. Create a concrete action plan with manageable steps to close those gaps and get right back on course. Because when you do this, when you truly align your personal values with your business vision, you don't just change your own life, you create a powerful ripple effect. Leading with genuine authenticity inspires your team members to grow personally. It influences your clients, and hey, it can even inspire your competitors to raise their standards. Your commitment to your purpose actively shapes the entire landscape around you. It's a real game changer.
I want to leave you with a really profound question drawn from the What's My Why framework. Finding your purpose isn't just a one-and-done event. It's a continuous, lifelong journey of growth and alignment. So take a second and think about this. When you retire, what do you want to be proud of?